All right, so we're diving into something pretty fun today.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
It's a list from the Top Tens website, a top 10 things to buy with a $100 list.
Mm.
So it's going to be interesting to see what people value,
Yeah, what they think is valuable.
what they would spend their money on if they only had $100.
Yeah, exactly how they would spend it.
Especially because it's such a mix of things.
Right.
Like there are some things on here that are, pretty practical, like a phone upgrade
Yeah,
or, computer upgrades,
Right.
things that you could actually use.
right.
But then there's other stuff on here that's just pure fun, you know?
Yeah, just for fun, yeah.
Like games and shoes and tattoos
Right.
and even a puppy, which, that could be considered a long-term investment.
Yeah, depends on how you look at it.
I mean, it's a lot of responsibility,
Definitely.
but it's also a lot of joy.
Right.
So I guess it just depends on what you're looking for.
What you want to get out of it, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what are you hoping to achieve with this $100?
Right.
Are you thinking long-term or short-term?
Exactly. Yeah, are you thinking you're going to invest it?
Like those computer upgrades that we talked about?
Yeah, exactly. That would be a good example of like a long-term investment.
Right.
Something that's going to benefit you for, years to come.
Yeah, like it'll help you be more productive or learn new skills or...
Yeah, or just make your life easier.
Right, exactly.
But then on the other hand, you've got things like, going to the movies or buying a new game,
Yeah,
which are, more immediate gratification.
right,
Those are things that are going to make you happy right now.
right.
But, they might not have a lasting impact.
Yeah, it's like that instant gratification versus delayed gratification thing.
Exactly.
Like, are you going to spend this money on something that's going to make you happy today or something that's going to make you happy for years to come?
Right. It's a tough choice.
It is a tough choice.
But it's an interesting one to think about.
It is.
And it's something that we all have to grapple with, when we're making spending decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether it's $100 or $1,000.
Right.
It's always about weighing those options and figuring out what's best for you.
And it's interesting, too, because some of the things on this list, like those experiences we were talking about, like
Sure.
movies, concerts,
Yeah.
those are things that you can't really put a price tag on.
Right. They're priceless in a way.
Yeah, because they create memories.
Exactly. They create memories. They give you experiences that you'll never forget.
Yeah, like you might remember that concert you went to for the rest of your life,
Exactly.
but you might not remember that new pair of shoes you bought for the rest of your life.
Right.
So it's like, what's more valuable?
Yeah, what's more important to you?
The memories or the stuff?
Right.
And some of the comments on this list are pretty interesting, too.
Oh, yeah. What do they say?
Like there's one about a mom who takes her daughter clothes shopping, and it takes forever
Oh, I can imagine.
because the daughter just can't decide what she wants.
Oh, yeah, that's a class.
And the mom's just like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, I've been there. I've definitely been there.
And then there's another comment about how video games can provide decades of entertainment.
Oh, wow. Decades.
Yeah, like the commenter was saying that they still play games that they bought years ago,
That's impressive.
and they're still getting enjoyment out of them.
Yeah, I guess if it's a good game, you
Right?
can keep coming back to it.
Yeah, and they were comparing that to clothes, like saying that clothes go out of style,
Right. Yeah.
but games don't.
I mean, I guess that's true to some extent.
Right?
But then again, some clothes never go out of style,
Well, that's true. That's true.
It's all about finding those classic pieces.
Right. But it's interesting to think about,
Yeah, it is.
like what's going to give you more bang for your buck?
Right.
A new wardrobe or a new video game? It's a good question. And then there's this one comment that I just have to share.
Okay, what is it?
Someone said that their chinchilla helped them discover tax write-offs.
Wow, really? A chinchilla?
Yeah. I don't know how that worked.
I'm not sure I believe that one.
Me neither, but it's a funny comment.
It is. It is.
But it just goes to show, that there are all sorts of ways to spend $100.
Yeah, and you never know what kind of impact it might have. It
Exactly.
could be something practical. It could be something fun.
It could even be something weird and unexpected.
Right, like a tax-deductible chinchilla.
Who knows?
You never know.
But I think the most important thing is to spend it on something that you're going to enjoy.
Yeah, something that's going to bring you value,
Exactly.
whether it's practical value or emotional value,
Right.
or maybe even a little bit of both.
Yeah, and I'm starting to notice some trends on this list.
Oh, yeah. What kind of trends?
Like a lot of people are suggesting clothes,
Okay.
shoes, music, things that are all about self-expression.
Yeah, expressing yourself, making yourself look good, feel good.
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense, right?
I mean, why not? If you've got $100 to spend,
Right.
why not spend it on something that's going to make you feel good about yourself?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, feeling good, expressing yourself.
Enjoying life.
But it's also interesting to think about why those things are so popular.
Yeah, what is it about our culture that makes us want to spend money on those things?
Right. Like, is it because we're bombarded with advertising?
Maybe. Or maybe it's just because we're naturally drawn to those things.
Maybe it's a little bit of both,
Probably.
but it's something to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
But for now, let's get back to this list
Okay, let's dive back in.
and talk about some of the specific items.
Wait, what are some of the top contenders?
Well, there's a big debate going on about games versus clothes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, on the one hand, you've got games, which are all about immersive experiences.
Yeah, escaping into another world.
Right, and they can be really fun and engaging.
And social, too, you know?
Yeah.
You can play games with your friends online.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great way to connect with people.
But then on the other hand, you've got clothes, which are all about expressing yourself.
Yeah. Showing the world who you are.
And they can make you feel more confident and stylish.
Definitely.
So it's like, do you want to escape into a digital world or make a statement in the real world?
That's a tough choice.
It is a tough choice.
And it really comes down to personal preference.
Yeah, what's more important to you?
Right.
Escapism or self-expression?
And I guess it also depends on your budget.
Right, because $100 can get you a lot more games than it can clothes.
That's true. Yeah.
So you might have to prioritize.
Right. You might have to make some tough decisions.
But that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Figuring out what's most important to you and then spending your money accordingly.
Exactly.
And speaking of tough decisions, what about books versus music? Ooh, another good one.
So books are all about, getting lost in a story.
Yeah, expanding your knowledge, learning new things.
And music is all about, evoking emotions.
Yeah, making you feel things.
So it's like, do you want to engage your mind or your heart?
That's a good way to put it.
And I think both are equally valid.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It just depends on what you're in the mood for.
What you're looking for at that moment.
Right, like if you're feeling stressed, maybe you want to listen to some calming music.
Yeah, or if you're feeling bored, maybe you want to read a thrilling novel.
Exactly.
So it just depends.
It really does.
But I think it's great that we have so many options.
I agree.
It's a good problem to have.
It is.
Too many good things to choose from.
And you know what? I think it's time to hear from our listeners.
Oh, yeah. What do you want to ask them?
I want to know what they would do with $100.
That's a good question.
Yeah, like if they had $100 to spend right now,
What would they buy?
what would they buy? What would they do? Would they be practical? Would they splurge?
Yeah, and why? What's the reasoning behind their choice?
I'm curious to hear what they have to say.
Me too. So listeners, let us know.
Yeah, chime in. We want to hear your thoughts.
What would you do with $100?
And why?
Okay, so we've been talking about all these different things you could buy with $100.
Yeah, a lot of options.
But do you think there's a connection between what someone chooses and maybe like their personality?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I think there probably is, yeah.
Like, what would their choice say about them?
Well, like someone who immediately goes for the experiences,
Okay.
like the travel or concerts, they might be a little more extroverted,
Makes sense.
more open to new things, meeting new people.
Yeah, they want to get out there.
Exactly.
But someone who picks like books or maybe online courses,
Well, yeah.
maybe they're more on the introverted side.
Right. More interested in like knowledge and personal growth.
Yeah, maybe they want to learn a new skill or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like those purchases kind of give us a little peek into their inner world.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like a personality test, but with shopping.
Exactly. Shopping personality test.
Love it.
But what about the practical stuff?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Like, what does it say about someone if they choose like a computer upgrade or a new tool set?
Yeah, like they're all about function over fashion.
Right. They're probably very pragmatic.
Yeah, they're probably thinking about efficiency and getting things done.
No time for frills.
Just give me what works.
Exactly.
But hey, even the most practical people need a little fun sometimes.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And remember those more adult items on the list?
Oh, yeah. Those definitely stood out.
What do you think those purchases say about someone?
Well, maybe it's a sign that they prioritize pleasure or intimacy.
Okay.
Or maybe they just want to have a little fun let loose.
Yeah, treat themselves.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Not all.
It's all about balance, right?
Yeah, finding that balance between needs and wants.
Yeah. Between practicality and pleasure.
Exactly. And sometimes that $100 purchase is more about satisfying a need than anything else.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to treat yourself.
Exactly. But you know what? I'm curious.
That's why.
What about you? What's on this list that speaks to you personally?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me think.
Like if you had $100 right now, burning a hole in your pocket.
Hmm. I don't think part of me would want to be responsible,
Okay.
like maybe get a nice meal prep service.
Practical.
Yeah, or some new running shoes. Those are always good.
Always need those.
But then the other part of me wants to just go all out, like
Mm.
concert tickets or a weekend trip.
See, that's the thing.
It's a tough choice.
It's that classic dilemma, needs versus wants.
Yeah, but I think it's about finding that sweet spot.
That balance.
Yeah, where you're taking care of yourself, but also allowing yourself some fun.
Exactly. You got to have both.
Exactly. And sometimes the best way to figure out what you truly enjoy is just to try new things. Exactly. Step outside your comfort zone and see what happens.
That's a great point. And you know what? This whole conversation has got me thinking
Oh, yeah.
about a question for our listeners.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Imagine you could add one item to this list,
Ooh.
something that's not already there.
Okay.
What would it be?
That's a good one.
And more importantly, why?
What does that choice tell us about you, about your values or your passions?
Yeah, like would you invest in learning a new skill?
Right.
Would you indulge in some kind of creative pursuit?
Ooh.
Or would you give it to charity?
Wow, that's deep.
Because that choice really tells us a lot about you.
Yeah, it's like a window into your soul.
Exactly. So listeners, we want to know.
Yeah, chime in. Tell us what you would add.
And why?
Because your answer might surprise us.
It might even surprise you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different ways to spend $100.
Yeah, from the practical to the purely fun.
We've seen how people's choices can reflect their personality,
Their value.
their priority.
And how sometimes those choices aren't always about logic.
Right. Sometimes it's about satisfying a need or just having a little fun.
Absolutely.
But now for the big question, the one we've been leading up to this whole time.
What's the best way to spend $100?
Drum roll, please.
Well, the truth is, there's no single right answer.
Right, because what works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own unique needs and wants.
So it's not really about finding the right answer.
It's more about understanding the why behind your choice.
Like, what are you hoping to achieve with this purchase?
What are your goals?
What are your values?
Because ultimately, the most satisfying purchases are the ones that align with those things.
The ones that make you feel good about yourself and your choices.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
We've been talking a lot about spending money,
Right.
but what about the things that money can't buy?
You mean like love and happiness and all that?
Yeah,
I-
exactly. Those intangible things that are truly priceless. The things that really matter in life.
Right. And maybe the real challenge isn't just about how to spend $100,
Mhm.
but about remembering that true wealth goes beyond material possessions.
It's about investing in those aspects of your life that bring true meaning and fulfillment.
Exactly. Those connections experiences personal growth.
Things that enrich your life in ways that money never could.
So as you go out there with your $100 bill in hand,
Yeah.
think about not just what you'll buy, but also what you'll create.
The memories you'll make, the relationships you'll nurture, the impact you'll have on the world.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about the stuff we accumulate.
It's about the lives we touch and the legacy we leave behind.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise.
And to our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep seeking out those priceless treasures that make life truly rich and meaningful.
Until next time.
Stay curious.